We aren't sure why some people are getting a mustache and some aren't, but we have to do all we can to avoid it becoming fashionable.
Sudden outbreak of mustaches, botched nose jobs, and of course, oh my god, they killed Kenny! Today, we are back at it reacting to South Park number 9. So let's dive right in.
And you say you've never had a mustache before.
So at least the doctor is using the appropriate tool with a cover on the otoscope, trying to look closely with a flashlight. Obviously, in this situation, you could use like a pen light. It's not really that much magnified.
Holy sh**.
Oh my gosh. The outbreak of mustaches. Sometimes people will take pills for hair growth and they're getting unwanted hair growth in other areas of their body, and then all of a sudden you get like massive amount of chest hair or back hair or butt hair.
Another strain of COVID or simply more COVID-related symptoms? A reported 1 in 10 people in Park County are experiencing mustaches, and nobody seems to know why. The mayor has called for help from infectious disease experts, and Dr. Anthony Fauci arrived at South Park Hospital today to give his advice.
Oh my gosh. We're seeing people in severe respiratory distress, requiring high flow oxygen, steroids, and a lot of help and support.
We aren't sure why some people are getting a mustache and some aren't, but we have to do all we can to avoid it becoming fashionable.
There are sometimes weird symptoms, weird side effects. Yes, they're taking this to the extreme, but things similarly can happen with different types of symptoms.
Will our chin diapers keep us safe? Yes, but we must wear them where the mustache would be.
The whole time during this pandemic, I had to take care of patients that would wear the mask under the chin, on their foreheads. We should kind of try to minimize spreading germs, and there are studies that it does reduce the spread of germs. That's why we wear them in the operating room, to protect the patient.
Hello? Dude, did you get your period yet? No, there's no blood coming out of my ass. Mine neither, but I double checked and Cartman was right. Your period is the start of puberty.
Oh my gosh, these kids. You're not gonna have a period if you don't have a uterus. The uterus has a lining that sheds every month due to hormonal changes relating to ovulation and reproductive years. And this typically begins during puberty, early teens. Sometimes it can be 12. If you're bleeding out of your rectum, out of your butthole, you need to see a doctor. What happened? Oh my gosh. If you have blood in your stool, gotta get checked out by your doctor.
Well, welcome to the club, Kenny. You got your period, so now you're a man. Ooh. God damn it, Kenny, shut the hell up.
Oh! If the blood coming out of your butt or your poop starts looking like what we call melena or dark maroon or even black, then it could be coming higher up, like closer to your stomach. Then that's called an upper GI bleed. They actually might vomit blood, and that's super concerning, right? Because you're having an active bleeding, it's bright red. There's no time for the blood to get digested by your digestive system, and then it could be meaning that there's a brisk bleed due to like an ulcer, perforation, very scary things. Gosh.
Mr. and Miss McCormick. Yes? I'm sorry, we couldn't save your son.
If I ever come out and talk to a patient's family, I'm not coming out in bloody clothes, like totally inappropriate. Change your clothes, put a coat on, cover it up. They don't need to see that.
What killed him, doctor?
Well, we found a tampon stuck up your child's ass. Apparently, he'd had it up there for several days. It plugged him up until he finally burst from the inside out like a ruptured septic tank.
Oh my God!
My worry is that he could have been following some kind of crazy new fad. Perhaps the children are all shoving tampons up their ass because they've seen the Backstreet Boys doing it on TV or something.
What? Okay. Don't put tampons in there, forget about it. That's why the tampons have strings, so you can actually pull them out, and they shouldn't be in there for more than 24 hours.
I think maybe Timmy is suffering from something called attention deficit disorder, or ADD.
ADD, ADHD, the names keep changing, but it has to do with diagnosing somebody at a young age relating to their ability to pay attention.
All right, this is a very simple test which should determine without a doubt whether or not Timmy has attention deficit disorder. Now, Timmy, I'm going to read you a book called The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
To get a diagnosis of it, it has to be over time. Typically, it's done around the age of 6 or 7 years of age. There's a bunch of different types of medications that you can give somebody at this age to help focus them.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
Everybody's not going to pay attention. Oh my gosh, I would be pulling out my hair if it took this long.
Okay, now, Timmy, can you tell me, in Chapter 7, what kind of car did Gatsby drive?
Timmy!
Well, that settles it.
Huh?
This young man definitely has attention deficit disorder. I knew it.
What can we do for him, Doctor?
Well, ADD is fairly common in kids today. I'm going to prescribe some Ritalin, and we'll see how that goes for little Timmy.
Ritalin is one type of medication that you might use to help with this type of disorder, as well as, say, Adderall. I think Timmy needs a little bit more further evaluation on a much deeper level and maybe a different doctor.
I have to admit I'm still embarrassed about getting a nose job, Tom. I didn't want people at school to know, so I told them I had herpes.
What? Now you have herpes 1 and you have herpes 2. 1 is genital herpes, basically, herpes 2, versus 1, which is just oral.
Now, we could go with something a little smaller, which would make you look like this.
Whoa. David Hasselhoff.
Wow! That's it! That's the nose I want!
Alrighty then. Now, I must warn you, Mr. Garrison, that there are risks. You could wind up a hideous, foul shadow of a creature.
Okay.
I can live with that.
Alrighty then, let's get started.
Make sure that the doctors that you're going to are board certified, basically they have the residency.
We did some major reconstruction, sawed through some bone, snapped some cartilage. All
Yeah,
the
there you
blood
go.
and mucus, just the sound of bone and sinew coming apart. By the way,
Yeah,
did you
so
ever
cute.
see that movie, Contact?
Oh, he's puking. Why is he puking purple? Could be a mix of whatever's in his stomach. If you're also vomiting just after having the surgery, you increase the risk of more bleeding because it increases pressure.
How's he doing?
Well, he isn't worse, but he isn't getting better. It's almost as if his cancer were tied.
Oh, boy. Oh, my cancer hurts.
He seems to have put all his hope into you winning that game.
Cancer is an abnormal cell that's gone rogue that continues to multiply and divide. So if it's not getting worse, then it's not multiplying and dividing, which to me, that means it's actually doing better.
Our hockey team has just been invited to play against Denver County during a Colorado Avalanche game.
Wow, at the Pepsi Center?
Look, he's coming around again.
That's our biggest game ever. Do you think we can win, Coach?
Imagine if there was one game, one chance to make everything right.
Obviously, when somebody's sick and you can give them positive information and get their spirits up, the body responds in a positive way. So yes, hopefully this happens for this kid.
Just be aware of this, Coach. If you lose the big game, that little boy is gonna die faster than Steve Irwin in a tank full of stingrays.
What? That's messed up. Sometimes things happen when it comes to cancer. Your body's fighting, and then the cancer burden just gets so overwhelming or causes you to be in a hypercoagulable state, which then can increase your risk of blood clots, and you can have a massive pulmonary embolism that can take you right away. South Park is not only talking about like COVID, making jokes about it, but then trying to bring a light of different attitudes that we have within medicine. It's good. If you enjoyed this, make sure you check out this playlist right here. And as always, make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.